So from the get-go, I was like, I'm just gonna say it's a 2016 Mustang GT, but then I realized that there is a massive Kenne Bell supercharged logo on the front windshield as well as on the side, so it's kind of hard to lie to you guys what it is, or kind of just keep it discreet until we get to the engine. But this is a 2016 Ford Mustang GT with, it's a premium package, so it has the leather seats on the inside with a massive supercharger on the engine. But that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to show you guys that once we get there. But in terms of what this thing is, so the S550 generation of the Mustang came out in 2015, and for the first 3 model years, so 15, 16, and 17, it was styled this way. But in 2018, it had a refresh, so a life cycle refresh or a facelift, whatever you want to call it. And the best example is, that's a 2022 Mustang, that's a 2016 Mustang. So as you guys can see, the biggest difference is definitely that front bumper. It's a lot more, I want to say, angular on the newer body style. You have a lot more like sharp angles and whatnot, whereas this one has a little bit more smooth. This one's headlights are also like full headlights, so you guys can see they go all the way. But on this one, it kind of has this little indentation here, so that's kind of it. You have the fog lights are a little bit different on that one. As you guys can see, they're smaller fog lights integrated within the turn signals. That one has actual bigger fog lights, but the hood's a little bit different. The vents, in terms of, they're a little bit different, but overall, of course, it's the same body style because it's the same car. Now, this one does have aftermarket wheels. They're Verde wheels, and they're 20-inch wheels, which they look cool, but when you consider how much horsepower this car has, this thing can't get traction to save its life. And I kind of wish that they had gone for, maybe a smaller wheel. Those right there are really cool. Those are the performance pack wheels, and I believe they're 19-inch. But also, they upgraded the wheels, but they left the 245/40s on the rear. Guys, if you're packing this much horsepower, the best example is the Hellcat. You need bigger tires. It just will not grip. So they kind of messed up on that. This one also has a full Corsa exhaust system, and it sounds mental. I'll let you guys hear that right before we get to the driving aspect. It does have this really nice sort of, I want to say, ducktail spoiler, because it's not really a big spoiler, but it's sort of a little wing. Looks very nice. The stripes could use a little refresh. They've probably been on since the car was new in here in the summer, or just overall throughout the year. The sun's really harsh, so it's definitely beaten down. But honestly, it's a good looking car. You do have those aftermarket side skirts that kind of feed air into the rear, which is kind of, it's weird because it's just feeding air into the tire, but maybe it's just for aero, but whatever. Overall, it's a good looking car. You guys have seen it. You guys love the Mustang, so you know exactly what it is. But let's go ahead and hop inside and take a look at the interior. So because this Mustang is a premium package, you do have the keyless entry, so all you got to do is come up to the door. It unlocks with the key in your pocket. Now this one, again, is a premium, so it does have that beautiful leather interior. This particular car only has about 30,000 miles, so it's a low mileage car, which is to be expected because this was a special edition with the Kenne Bell, so it was probably babied, or somebody kept it hidden away, but probably not for the or it's either, in my opinion, what happened to these stripes, because they're kind of faded on the trunk and up there. Maybe the material was just kind of cheap on the stripes. That's why they faded, because overall the paint isn't fading and the clear coat isn't going bad. So I don't think this car was left outside the whole time. I just think that the sun really got to it because of, wherever it lived. But regardless of that, the interior is very nice. The first thing you're going to notice when you hop in is that this has an aftermarket steering wheel. It has a performance one. I do like it. It's perforated leather. You do get this nice 12 o'clock sort of racing stripe up here. It's white. You do obviously have the paddle shifters from the regular steering wheel, so it's just a enhanced factor steering wheel because it's nice. It has leather stitching. It's perforated, so it does feel pretty good in your hands, when you're driving fast or whatever you're doing with it. It does also have an upgraded shifter. I don't like it because it's weird. You have to like push it down to move it. Now obviously it's not going to go anywhere right now because I haven't started the car, but you know, on the regular, let's say this was a regular shifter on the 6-speed automatic, you have this like button you'd push and it just pulls back like up top, but this one you have to like push it down as if it's like a manual and you're going in reverse, but whatever. But to start it up, obviously foot on the brake, it's a push button. There you guys go. You automatically hear that beautiful supercharger kind of little whistle, and it sounds it sounds nasty. And I know you guys are all wanting to hear that. We'll get to it in a second, but because it's a performance, or because it's a premium package car, it does have heated seats as well as cooled seats. Thank goodness it has AC seats, because it gets really hot here in Vegas. But overall, it's a nice car. I don't think this was a performance car or performance pack car originally, because it doesn't have the gauges up here, you know, the vacuum gauge or whatever. So this was probably just a regular premium Mustang that they took and put a massive supercharger on. Speaking of which, I know you guys have probably seen these Mustang interiors to death, so I'm let's move on and go to the part that I know everybody wants to see, which is what's underneath that hood. So of course, this is a 5-liter Coyote V8, which became standard in all Mustang GTs in 2012. But this one is a little bit more, let's say, powerful. So first thing you're gonna notice when you pop the hood, and you can't miss it, is this massive, and I mean literally massive, it's named Mammoth Kenne Bell supercharger. This particular one is a 3.2 liter, which is bigger than most modern day EconoBox engines. I mean, that's crazy. But this is a 3.2 liter twin scroll supercharger, which makes, all in all, Kenne Bell says that it should add over 245 horsepower, just depending on, I guess, conditions. So if we take the most conservative number, 245, and we add on to the 435 of this Mustang, that means that this Mustang ideally is making 680 horsepower. Now you know why I told you guys, I don't know why they put bigger wheels on it and they didn't upgrade the tires, because now the car just spins the whole time. I mean, it's basically like how the original Hellcat was. You have a bunch of power, no traction, and it just leads to bad things. But overall, this car sounds mental. It drives crazy. I mean, that Corsa exhaust, I'll let you guys listen in a second. But this is a great package. I personally like it. You know, depending on how you feel about Kenne Bell, maybe you don't. I think it's badass. I think the car sounds awesome. So this is a 5-liter Coyote V8, which we all know and love, but this one, obviously there's a massive thing glaring at you. So this right here is a 3.2 liter, yeah, 3.2, that's why it's named Mammoth, 3.2 liter twin scroll air to water intercooled supercharger by Kenne Bell. Now Kenne Bell does say that in the most conservative numbers, this should add over 245 horsepower to the Mustang GT's already 435 with the 5.0. That means that this car, on the most conservative, the most basic numbers, should be making 680 horsepower. 680 horsepower means that with those kind of skinny-ish rear tires, means when you floor it, you better hold on for dear life, because you might end up in a ditch. Now, I definitely do think, because they upgraded the wheels, that they should have gone with bigger tires. I'm guessing maybe, and this is just my opinion, this was more of a show car than they really cared for, because you put these, the wheels do look nice. They definitely do resemble the performance pack wheels, but why would you do that and then upgrade, and then not upgrade, you know, the tires? Bigger tires, wider tires, more grippy. I mean, I'm guessing this was just a let's take it out on Sunday, go to Cars and Coffee kind of car. So whatever, I mean, teachers their own. I think it's really cool, but enough of me talking about it. Let me let you guys hear what this thing sounds like, and then let's go ahead and take it out on the road. Setting off in the Kenne Bell supercharged Mustang, the first thing I gotta say is this thing sounds mental. I mean, it's ridiculous, because that Corsa performance exhaust system, it just sounds, it sounds just right, honestly. It's not crazy, it's not, you know, loud. It's just, it makes all the right noises. Or actually, you know what, it is pretty loud, but it makes the right noises. That's all that matters. And you know, you hear the whistle from the blower, you hear the whine, and you know you got a special car. I mean, honestly, it sounds absolutely mental. It looks crazy. I love the black and gold look. It definitely gets a lot of attention. And the thing with this car is, though, is I think, let me go ahead and close the window so I'll stop yelling. I think that this thing really would have benefited from the 10-speed. So if this had been done, you know, the supercharger setup had been done on a 2018 Mustang with the 10-speed, it'd be miles better, because this 6-speed is very clunky, and I think it's just a tuning that's been going on. You know, obviously the engine's tuned so it can run with the blower, so it's very clunky between shifts. It kind of, you know, bucks back and forth. It's weird, but I think if it had the 10-speed, it'd be much better. Now, I'm saying this because I have driven a 2017 Kenne Bell supercharged Mustang, but it was a manual, and that one obviously drove a lot better, because with the manual I was able to control the shifts. I was able to control, honestly, pretty much the whole car. Now with that, it was very easy to, you know where the car's at, know when you know, when it's gonna hit, when you can control it. With this thing, though, it's you downshift, and because it's the 6-speed, it's a little bit slower. It takes a second, then all of a sudden it just kind of downshifts and it kicks forward. So you need to be careful, because it will sort of try to get out of control. It will shimmy. It'll do what Mustangs do, and it'll try to get off the road. But honestly, aside from all that, you know, obviously the Coyote is a very proven, very, you know, I don't know, it's proven its girth. The motor can handle boost, it can handle power, and it's very reliable. Now, like I said, my biggest thing is this 6-speed is just, it's not the right setup in my opinion. I think, you know, 10-speed or the manual is definitely the way to go with this, because it's just so clunky. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that supercharger whistle, just even on idle, it's just, oh my goodness, it sounds so good. Give you guys a little. Oh man, yeah, this thing moves. This thing moves. And I wasn't even full throttle. I gave it maybe like 50% throttle, because like I told you guys, I feel like at full throttle this thing gets very squirrely. And even at half throttle, I had to keep kind of letting off and on, because it was starting to kind of want to, you know, go sideways in the rear. It's crazy. It's got a lot of power. The tires are too skinny in the rear, in my opinion. I think 305s would definitely sit very well with this car. Get some nice, even these wheels. You can use these wheels and just put 305s on it, you know, with some nice Nitto tires or something, or some Michelins. Oh my gosh, it'd be perfect. It would honestly be perfect. It'd be just the right amount of power and sort of balance, if you want to call it that. But the car drives great. The car looks great. The only gripe that I have with this car is that transmission. And I mean, there's not much you can do unless you want to manual swap it. But, you know, at that point, it does sound really good, though. I will give it that. It sounds phenomenal. Man, I mean, it's a beast. This thing is an absolute beast of a car. And I like it. You know, I really, really like it. I think it's definitely set up to a point where it can be daily driven. Like, I wouldn't mind daily driving this car, and you'd be perfectly fine, because unless you're really hauling on it, it's a regular old Mustang. And now, sure, you do hear the, you know, the louder exhaust, and you hear the blower whistle, but aside from all that, it, like in here right now, I'm just cruising, about to get on the, you know, the major interstate. I'm doing about 45, and it's, you know, you do hear the exhaust obviously, but it's not crazy. But I do love that. Oh my gosh, the supercharger whistle is just nasty. It sounds phenomenal. Oh. this is good. This is real good. And now, of course, you know, the GT500 is going to destroy this thing. You know, more performance-oriented ones. I feel like a Kenne Bell, like I said, with the 10-speed would probably destroy this car, because that 10-speed is just, it's so quick shifting. But aside from all that, I'm a fan. I like this car. This is set up right. This thing is definitely set up to a point where I wouldn't mind using this as a daily, and then I know that I could probably take it to the track strip and put down some good numbers, of course, with better tires, because if I don't put some better tires on it, then this thing gets kind of sideways. But yeah, so I like it. I truly do. I think it's an awesome car. I think that you could definitely get behind the wheel of this thing. It's only got 30,000 miles, so you know this Coyote's got a heap ton of life left in it. And honestly, I mean, if you had one of these and it was a manual, you could do this all yourself. I think the package from Kenne Bell costs about 8,500 bucks. That's for the 3.2 liter, you know, mammoth blower, and I believe it comes with all the piping and everything and the tune. Now, I don't think it comes with the exhaust. The exhaust is separate. It does come in with, you know, the supercharger, the intercooler, the piping, the whole setup, the whole 9 yards, whatever you need. But of course, it doesn't come with the exhaust. This is a separate exhaust. And Corsa is, as I said, a very nice exhaust system. I do like this a lot, but it is kind of on the, you know, more expensive end because it is a nice one. So you're probably looking at around 2 grand, maybe 2,500 for the exhaust. So overall, you could probably be in this thing for about 11, 12 grand. You could do this to your own Mustang. You know, obviously there are other kits out there. There's the Whipple kits, which I really like Whipple, but this one's, it gets my seal of approval. Let's just say that I do like it. And before we exit out this video, let's no, it's so crazy. But you see what I mean with that 6-speed? That wasn't even full throttle. It downshifted all the way down to like 3rd or 4th. I don't get it. I really don't. That's what I don't like about the 6-speed is it's very unpredictable. So you need to be careful. But let me know down below, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Is this do you like the Kenne Bell supercharged Mustang, or is this just too much? I mean, you know, you're looking at this like, what the heck? Why? Like, this is just too much. I don't need this. Though, you know, the GT Mustang is just enough power, and for the price point that the GTs were at, it was a lot of car for the money. But you know, with this added on 245 horsepower, conservatively at the minimum, it could be making more. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, thank you guys all so much for checking it out. Let me know down below what you guys think about the Kenne Bell supercharged Mustang, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy.